All right, today we're talking to Joey. I've got your questions. We're going to ask him. They're all in the hat here. It's got a really old nappy hat. There's hardly any lice in here.
There he goes.
We're gonna ask him these questions very soon. Stick around. YouTube, this is Peck Tech, and we're here to ask Joey some questions, and we're going to dig right in. But Joey, I want you to, if you come across a question you don't want to answer, you don't feel like you should answer, you just tell me so. We'll throw it away. For the most part, I haven't filtered the questions, so kind of anything can show up. All right. Eric K asks, "What's your real job? What's your favorite beer? And will he ever keep Rays again?"
YouTube is my real job. I don't just do YouTube as a general sense, though. It's not just all YouTube. It's a bunch of things, including YouTube. But it's all about the aquarium hobby for me. What is my favorite beer? I'm not a big drinker, but I do like, I guess, light beers. Anything else
wimpy beers
goes right to my hips. And then, will I keep Rays again? Yes. Yes, I will. Very soon.
Definitely. Okay. Jordan Phillips asked Joey, would he consider a planted tank?
I will consider a planted tank. Yes.
Your daughter has a planted tank.
She has a planted tank. You know, I had planted tanks before. I didn't always have rays and arowanas. I had community tanks and planted tanks and nice tanks like that. I do have goals to set up another one. Everything isn't overnight though, so we'll get there.
Siren C Reviews. So wish I could go. That's not even a question. Damn it. That's too long. You should ask him if he likes Plecos. And what is your favorite Pleco?
I think everybody likes the L47. But yeah, like Plecos, sure. At one point, I wanted to collect all of the rare Plecos that stay small under 6 inches. Well,
oh, really?
Like 3, but yeah. At one point, I wanted to do a rack with all of the rare and different types of Plecos. I thought it would be cool because I thought it would be almost like a collection. But I really felt as though I was treating them as items and a checklist rather than fish, so I kind of backed away from it.
Yeah,
I knew that's where I would have
almost inventory. Or
yeah, that's what it felt like.
Like collectibles.
Yeah.
Somewhat Nice Fellow asks, did Joey ever experience blackbeard algae problem? And if so, how did you fix it?
I never had to deal with algae of any sort, and when I do, I don't like to remove algae. I like to keep it. Actually visited a few fish rooms this weekend, and their tanks are peppered in blackbeard and or hair algae, and it's beneficial to the tanks in general. If you don't like the look of it, then deal with it. But I don't mind it at all. I think it's very natural and it looks cool.
Yeah, if you have a planted tank, pretty much you're going to have that.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things.
I guess
that
it would
comes
look
with
horrible.
Yeah.
If, like, in the extent that I've seen it today and throughout my time.
The only thing I know that eats it like crazy are the Siamese algae eaters. But they get pretty big.
Yeah.
King Waltz. What kind of fish do you think your son will want to put in his tank when he gets into fish keeping?
I don't know if he wants to get into fish keeping. I don't. He's shown interest, but he's back and forth with it.
He didn't get jealous from the sister's tank?
No, I mean he's only 8, so he's not committed to any one thing other than being 8 and being a kid. He doesn't need a hobby right now, but I think if he got into it, he would probably pick, I think he would get into cichlids because he likes personality in the fish and that they would fight or create territories and that sort of thing. I think he would like that sort of thing. But,
scrappy fish.
Yeah. So maybe convicts, because those would be, a good starter fish.
That'd be a great first fish too to experience because they're
the
really
entire
easy
process.
to breed.
Yeah. Just add water type of fish. Yeah.
And having babies is always kind of an exciting thing.
How about we do this? You ask me one about me, and then I'm going to ask you one about me, and you have to see if it's right. And you have to come as close as possible.
I'll try to guess.
To my real answer, yeah.
All right. Well, Anthony Reagan says they just watched one of your videos in which you helped your daughter set up her first tank.
Yeah.
How's the tank doing? Is she interested in it? And did his son finally set up a tank? So we know your son's probably not going to set up a tank anytime soon.
Yeah.
But how's the tank doing?
Well, at the time that we're making this video now, that was only a couple of weeks ago. So
Sure.
of course she's still into it. Not a whole lot's changed. It's the same. We did a couple water changes. She's learning how to feed properly. But other than that, everything's the same.
So you're going to hold her to it with the water changes?
I'll
My
do them
daughter's
for
had
her.
3 aquariums,
Yeah.
and I've done
I'll do
all
it
of
for her
them.
because we were trying to show her we were going through water changes and I sucked up one of the shrimp. I know a lot of people were saying like the betta was gonna eat all the shrimp, but like the shrimp are huge in comparison to that little baby betta.
Yeah.
And they're all still in there, all still doing fine. But I did suck one up. Apparently, I don't know where it went. I'm pretty sure I sucked it up while I was doing a water change. Actually, this guy wants to also know. I'll answer it. I'll answer this one. He wants to know if it's YouTube is my full time. I've got to ask that. I get asked it all the time. Not sure why that's such a concern, but he asks, what's Joey want to be when he grows up? So I'm 32. I'm the father of 2 children. I own a home, and I own a business. I'm already all grown up, and I'm doing exactly what I want to do as I am right now, which is talk about fish on a daily basis, basically. And so YouTube is technically my full-time job. Although what I would categorize it more so is that I'm more so of a glorified stay-at-home dad, is how I would look at it personally.
You're a fairly successful author.
Yeah,
I mean, your book does okay. I saw people lined up all the way around the room to buy your book today and yesterday. So I'm sure your online sales aren't terrible.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
So you're an author, and you promote through YouTube.
Well, there's a lot of things so there's YouTube. I mean, I own a forum I have another website as well. I have my mobile app. That is like 25,000 downloads. Then I have my other social media accounts with a ton of followers there that I try to stay active and interact with. I also do consulting, not with hobbyists. I'm not. I don't have the time to do it at a hobbyist level just yet. But and an array of other things, and YouTube and videos is one of the things that I do. So is YouTube my full-time job? I wouldn't say that YouTube is my full-time job, but it's part of everything that I do.
It's sort of spawned out of that.
Yeah.
Like if YouTube's the substrate
Yeah.
through which other opportunities flow.
That's right.
Dominic and Katz, what's your view it's my view and your view on snails? Snails are a natural part of a planted aquarium.
I agree. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're a bad thing. I think they're a good thing.
That being said, if they piss me off, I'll throw an assassin snail in there and kill them.
I mean, yeah, it's easy to kill them. I think if you get way too many, then it gets unsightly on the glass, but they're easy to kill. I just squish them.
Yeah. Well, you can squish them, and then the fish go eat them, and you saved a little bit of money on natural food, right?
Am I a dog person or a cat person?
Dogs?
Yes, I got a little dog named Honey.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna do another one. I like that. Is beer a fruit or vegetable?
I'd say a vegetable.
I would say too.
If it's made of wheat.
Hot wheat and hops.
Hops. I don't drink beer much.
I don't know what the best snake-like fish.
Yeah, best snake-like fish.
Rope fish. Or there's bichers or bikers, however you want to pronounce that. Those
Any
are
primitive fish.
Yeah. Have I ever had another passion apart from fish? Or another hobby? I don't think I've ever had another hobby.
Have you not?
Nah.
You build stuff. Did you only build stuff because of aquariums?
Actually, no. I build stuff because I come from a household of all women. 3 sisters and my mom. And I was the only man in the house. So they would always look to me to fix things and repair things. Even though I had no clue what I was doing, I had to become handy and fill those.
That was your domestic role.
Yeah, but I also was taught how to cook, clean, and sew, so I guess it was a trade-off, and I learned other good, valuable skills as well.
Oh, you're all the better for it.
Yeah. What hair gel do you use? Did you see that?
It's Axe.
Axe? I'd love to know.
The toughest part is keeping the women off me with my Axe hair gel.
Was I do-it-yourselfing aquarium stuff before I started YouTube channel? And if so, or if you do-it-yourself other things in his life? Yeah. Here's the thing about getting to be the king of DIY. When the roof needs to be repaired, or we have a plumbing problem, or something is wrong with a piece of equipment like the lawnmower, I can't call people to help because it gets not thrown in my face, but my wife will say, thought you were the king of DIY.
Oh no!
So up the ladder I go, or
You've got this permanent like
Yeah.
ribbing point.
Yeah. So what I did a lot of do-it-yourself aquarium projects prior to YouTube, of course, but at that time I spent a lot more time developing them and making cooler things because at this pace that I'm at now, something new every single week, it is entirely difficult to come up with something amazing every week. I've actually thought about cutting it back to every second week so I can make better and more elaborate projects because there's simply just not enough time in the week to do something like that. But I've always been pretty active with do-it-yourself, of course. Guacamole or salsa?
I think you're a salsa man.
I had guacamole once and I liked it, but definitely salsa, yeah. What's my favorite or best memory involved in my hobby? It's okay if I can't name just one. I have a lot of good memories, but one of the most, I've mentioned it actually quite a bit in the past little while in my podcast and on video a couple times, but when I bred the Bosmani stingray, I was the first one to breed it in captivity.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was cool, yeah. And
Yeah, when you break ground like that, especially in kind of a scientific.
well, that was the first. It was the Bosmani was scientific or first discovered and scientifically described in 2009, and I was the first one to breed it in 2011. Only
Wow.
a handful of people ever got them in North America at the time, and when I had bred it, it was the only one in Canada.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
And I bred it to a Motoro. Obviously, it would have to breed to something else, but the pups were crossbreeds. What's my dream aquarium? You'll see in the next few weeks.
We got to see it today.
Yeah, sucker. Does my wife like fish?
I think she enjoys them as furniture, and that so long as they don't take up a spot that she wants in the house.
True. She definitely doesn't like fish, though. She thinks all my fish, she says they look like trout. They're unappealing to her. What she likes is the community fish. She doesn't like my arowanas or rays or anything
So she's
like
not
that.
a monster fish fan.
No.
But she would like a school of fish in a nicely planted tank. She would probably enjoy a lot.
Yeah. He goes on to ask how she feels about all the projects, and if not, how do I get permission to do all of this from my wife? Okay, so
Alright.
the secret with my wife is actually that this is how I do it with projects. So the way I get away with it is simply that I space my projects out over the course of a few days and or the real thing is like when she comes home, she can't walk into a disaster. So I allow myself enough time for cleanup. So by the time she gets home, if I'm doing a project, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal because everything's kind of cleaned up. I also try to do it outside or in my garage as much as I possibly can. But with the tanks and that sort of thing, there's two things I don't do. One, I don't ask her to help me.
Oh, yeah.
And two is I just make sure I clean up. Other than that, when it comes to money, I can save money for a few months or even up to a year. I've done that before and be able to afford to do what I need to do. But for the most part, it's just making sure I'm accommodating the things that anger her and making sure I don't do those.
Yeah, well, common courtesy goes a long way.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why when I clean my filters out in the sink, I make sure the sink is fenced
Yeah.
out.
You gotta make sure. Yeah, that's right. Clone the king.
Clone you? Well, actually, I did sneak into your room late last night, and I took a small sample. He's not a perfect clone, but I think you'll enjoy talking to him. Would you like to meet him?
I guess.
All right, I'll be right back.
What are you doing here?
Oh.
Okay.
Here for the convention.
So you're the king of DIY too, huh?
Yeah.
There could be only one. I think you should go.
Whatever.
See it.
Hey, he's handsome.
It's not bad.
If you play your cards right, you'll never have to do the dishes again.
Any
Watch out.
favorite common tropical fish? Ooh. I guess angelfish is up there, I guess.
Yeah.
For pretty common.
Very common.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a lot of people's first cichlid.
I've always been attracted to fish that just so happen to be rare and or got really big, and that's the unfortunate part to it. Do you ever not think about fish tanks?
Like, do you?
Sometimes.
Debbie, do you ever not think about fish tanks?
What's my favorite color?
Green.
Right. No.
No?
I don't have a favorite color. I'm colorblind. Yeah, I'm colorblind.
Gray.
If you look back in like some old videos where I was silly and using green screen because I thought that was cool at the time, I won't do that again. But you can see like my skin tone was green in some of them, and others it was
really?
blue. I had no clue. I couldn't tell. I can't see the hues that everybody else sees, so I am colorblind. So my favorite color, I don't have color. I like shades, so I like black and white and gray and those types of colors. If you could create and design your own tank, what shape and features would you have?
Well, if only you could do that.
Wow, the things I would do. Will I ever start a nano build? Yeah, well, maybe. How much did my arowanas and how much did his arowana stingrays?
How much did they? They never had sex. Is that what you're asking?
How much did they cost?
Probably how much did they cost? What does a typical stingray cost?
Oh, wow. They can cost $50 to
Well, there's like so
$5,000.
many different kinds of stingrays, but
You can have Motoro rays. You're looking at maybe $100, $200, and you get marble Motoros, which are a little bit nicer, maybe $250, $300. You can get reticulated or other very common teacup rays. They're like $50, $100.
and that's the base fish cost, not the shipping
Yeah.
and handling.
Yeah, and then like if you want to get into something fancier, the Bosmani, like maybe $3,800, $4,000.
Really?
Black diamonds, or even just base Leopold eyes, you're probably looking at maybe $1,000 to $1,500 each. Black diamonds, upwards of double that, maybe even more. And they keep climbing. You can get into certain variants of black diamonds that are costing $5,000 and $10,000 a piece.
Wow. Wow.
And then Asian arowana are kind of the same thing. It depends on what's in demand, but most crossbacks or reds or blue bases. I have a blue base crossback. A good quality one, you can expect to pay no less than $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
$1,800 to $2,000.
Are they just terribly hard to breed in captivity, or impossible to breed in captivity?
The rays?
Or the arowana?
The arowana, yeah, they're really difficult to breed, not necessarily in captivity, but to provide the facility for them to do that. They need a massive amount of water. They're typically bred in outdoor ponds.
1,000 gallons or more. Yeah.
Massive, like thousands, yeah. And then it's also illegal to, like, you can't keep them in the States, obviously, but...
Right.
But, so they are bred and raised in Singapore, Malaysia, and those places, and then the shipping costs, and you need import duty or import fees, and you need a license, and then distribution costs. It just keeps adding up and up and up and up and up. You want to buy one from Malaysia, you might only pay maybe $500 for something you'll pay here for $3,000. It's just economics, really.
Huh. All right, one more question.
One more. You want to pick it?
Yeah, I'll pick one. I am planning on my first 3D background. How can I ensure adequate water circulation for my hang-on-the-back filter and heater while still keeping the equipment hidden behind a background?
You just make sure that you are providing adequate circulation.
Holes. The answer is holes.
I mean, like, that's a specific question. I would have to see your background.
Sure,
no two
sure.
3D backgrounds are the same.
Is there any cool tricks for stuff that attaches to your aquarium?
I like to have the input and output on opposite ends of the tank when it comes to a 3D background. I also like to
you pretty much would never use a hang-on-the-back filter. Is that true?
I mean, probably not nowadays, no. I mean, if I were to the point where I needed to hang on the back filter, I would just go to a sponge filter because chances are it's a small breeding tank or holding tank or hospital tank.
Right.
But, just use bubblers will cause circulation, power heads, I'd have to see the background to give you a better answer. But,
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for sending in your questions. I'm sorry we didn't get to all of them, but there's only so much time. Basically, we've established that he's a dog person. He's a dog person. He likes the color gray.
I'm colorblind.
You do in
sew.
fact do YouTube for a living. So we know all these nice things about Joey. Thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
talking to
having
me. And I think I heard your clone flirting with a waitress over there, so you
Probably.
might
That sounds about
want to
right.
have a talk with. I recommend you just throw them in the alligator pit after about a day or so. Much longer than a day, they tend to get they get a little quirky. They start doing their own thing. You don't want that to happen. All right. So long, you guys. Follow your bliss. Keep it clean, tank. We'll see you next week.
Pretty vague question.
They're fine as long as they don't.
The gunshot?
No.
You can save it.
How much B-roll do you have? Or just no.
You gotta get ready. You gotta get into it, really. Be tough first.
All right.
Where?
No, I feel.
Okay.
Oh,